There's a bunny owner I want to tell you about. She spent 2 years, 2 full years, convinced that her bunny loved her. Every single day, she would pick him up, hold him, kiss his little head. She posted about him constantly. Her friends thought it was the cutest thing in the world. But her bunny, Biscuit, was in silent terror every single day. And the most heartbreaking part? She had absolutely no idea, because Biscuit never bit her, never ran, never made a sound. He just went still, and she thought that meant he was calm. She thought that meant he trusted her. She was wrong. And if you own a bunny or you're thinking about getting one, I need you to watch this entire video, because what I'm about to share with you could completely change your relationship with your bunny. And honestly, it might save them from a kind of suffering that no one ever talks about. So here's the question that I want you to sit with right now. How do you actually know if your bunny is afraid of you? Not just a little nervous, I mean genuinely, deeply afraid. Because most rabbit owners, even experienced ones, are reading the signs completely backwards. And the number one mistake? It involves the most well-behaved bunnies. Now, you might be thinking, my bunny doesn't bite me, so it can't be that bad. Or maybe you've read somewhere that thumping means fear, or hiding means stress. And yes, those are signs, but they are not the ones you need to worry about most. The bunny you need to worry about is the one that goes perfectly still. In the wild, rabbits have one primary survival mechanism when a predator gets too close. They freeze. Not because they're relaxed, not because they trust what's happening, but because movement gets you noticed. When your bunny goes limp in your arms, when they stop squirming and just stop, that is not trust. That is tonic immobility. That is a prey animal's last resort when it believes it is about to die. And it's been mistaken for contentment by bunny owners for decades. So now that raises a much bigger, much scarier question. If a rabbit has been living in chronic fear for months, maybe years, is it too late? Can a rabbit that has been fear conditioned ever actually learn to trust? Because the science here will completely change how you think about your rabbit's brain. Let me show you what's actually happening inside that tiny, powerful mind. Rabbits are one of the most neurologically complex small animals on the planet. Their amygdala, the part of the brain that processes fear, is exceptionally developed. This makes complete sense evolutionarily because rabbits are prey animals. Their survival has always depended on detecting threats faster than any other animal in their environment. But here's what this means for you as a bunny owner. When your bunny is repeatedly exposed to something they experience as a threat, even something as innocent as being picked up, their brain literally rewires itself around that fear. This is called fear conditioning, and over time, it doesn't just make them nervous, it changes who they are. Their cortisol levels stay chronically elevated. Their immune system weakens. They lose their curiosity, their playfulness, their personality. The rabbit who used to binky around the room starts spending most of the day hunched in the corner, and most owners never connect the dots. So here's what every bunny owner needs to know. Can this be reversed? Once a bunny's brain has been conditioned to fear, is there any way to go back? Or are some bunnies just permanently broken? Now, most advice you'll find online will tell you spend more time with them, handle them more, give them treats from your hand, slowly desensitize them. And while some of that isn't wrong, the single most powerful thing you can do to rebuild trust is nothing. I mean that literally. The research on lagomorph behavior and fear recovery points to the same thing over and over. The most effective first step in trust rehabilitation is called passive presence. You sit on the floor, you do not look directly at your bunny, you do not reach for them, you do not call them, you do not offer food, you just exist in their space, and you let them make the choice. Because here's what most people don't understand about rabbits. Control is safety. Every time you force interaction, even gentle interaction, you are confirming to your bunny's nervous system that it has no control over what happens to its body, and that is the core of trauma. But the moment your bunny realizes, I can leave and I'm choosing not to, that is the first neuron of trust being fired. Okay, so passive presence. Sit on the floor, don't force it. You're probably thinking, that sounds simple enough, but here's where it gets really interesting, because there's a specific moment, a specific, unmistakable signal that tells you your bunny's brain has crossed a threshold. Most bunny owners miss it entirely, or worse, they see it and they react the wrong way. And when that happens, they reset weeks of progress in a single second. So what is this moment, and what do you do when it happens? I want you to imagine something. You've been sitting on the floor for 20 minutes. Your bunny is across the room. They've been watching you the whole time from behind their hay rack, and then, slowly, they start to move. Not toward food, not toward a toy, toward you. They stop about a foot away, and then they do something small, something most people overlook completely. They start to groom themselves. Now, why does that matter? Why would a bunny grooming itself in your presence be significant? It seemed almost random, almost like nothing. But in rabbit behavioral science, it is everything. A bunny only grooms when they feel safe. It sounds obvious when I say it out loud, but think about what it means in context. A prey animal that is scanning for threats cannot groom. A bunny whose nervous system is in fight or flight cannot lower its guard enough to clean its own face. So when bunny rabbit chooses to groom in your presence, what they are saying in the only language they have is you are not a threat. That is your trust signal. That is the moment. And what do? Nothing. You do not reach out, you do not say good bunny, you do not move. You let the moment exist exactly as it is, because your bunny just made one of the bravest decisions of its life, and the best thing you can do is prove them right. Remember the owner I told you about at the start, the one with Biscuit? She found this method 3 years ago. She stopped picking Biscuit up, she stopped forcing cuddles, she just sat on the floor every single day for 2 weeks and waited. On day 11, Biscuit hopped over, sat beside her, and fell asleep against her leg. He had never done that before, in 2 years. She cried for about 20 minutes, not because it was dramatic, but because she finally understood. He had chosen her. Not because she held him, not because she trained him, but because she gave him the one thing he needed most, the freedom to trust on his own terms. So let me leave you with this. Your bunny is a highly intelligent, deeply emotional animal who has evolved over millions of years to read the world through the lens of fear. And the fact that you're watching a video like this, the fact that you actually want to understand their psychology, already puts you in a completely different category of a bunny owner. If this video helped you see your bunny differently, drop a comment below and tell me, what's one thing you noticed about your bunny today that you might have misread before watching this? I read every single comment, and your answer might end up in a future video. If you want to go deeper into bonding with your bunny, I have a full video on what to do for your bunny to sleep with you, and another on what your bunny sees when they look at you. Both are right here. Subscribe if you haven't already. Bye.